Right.
Yep.
All right. Welcome on, welcome all. It is great to see you back here today on this fine Tuesday. Today we're going to be commentating over a scrim. Today's going against Fluid's going against Zed F. What do you think about this, Charlie and or Chubby?
Let's see. Well, you first, Axe. You can go first.
I'm really excited to see it, especially with some of the newer players in Zed F's lineup. Um, I'm just kind of interested to see what strats they run, and on the side of Fluid, they have some really dominant names in, so I'm kind of excited to see how that correlates.
So, me personally, playing against Zed F, I think they're really like a really tank-oriented team. I think their tank lineup is probably the best part of their team. Would you agree or disagree with that?
The tank lineup of Fluid.
ZF.
Or Zed. Oh yeah, they're tanks by far. Some of the highest quality you can find in the league. I mean, Kawhi alone on that Zarya is a threat to be dealt with. He was basically a third DPS. But I mean, if you can take out their tanks, you disrupt their team immensely.
Yeah. On the other hand, Fluid's DPS are definitely threats alone. You really don't want to leave Alhai's Widow open because he doesn't miss.
Oh my goodness.
Alrighty, so y'all ready for me to show y'all the commentary ropes here? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, so map number 1, Temple of Anubis, brand new map set here. That's right. This is going to be our stage 3 setup for the next couple weeks. However, this week is a little bit of a bye week for the holidays, so I'm going to get some pre-warm-up going here. 0-0 both teams. So, as we've been talking about going in, Zed's tanks, one of their most dominant aspects of their team. On the side of Fluid with the lineup you're running, of course, High is going to be a dangerous threat, not to mention Jaybird on the Ana. Both can do a lot of damage, endure sustain for their teams, just depends on the way you look at it. But, as we are seeing the defenses prepared on the side of Zed, looks like we'll be seeing the Reinzar, Ana, Mercy, and Triple Sniper, actually, going to be running the Hanzo Widow. Lots of long-range DPS there, with the Reinzar being able to push forward as needed. On the opposing side, looks like we'll be seeing the Hook and Holt with a Diva, so triple tank, Ana, Mercy, and Bastion. Interesting little setup there, a little bit of something different.
Oh, yikes. It's gonna be interesting because we're gonna see how the double snipers or triple snipers, my ad, are gonna be able to take on this comp. Fluid's comp is built for sustainability, and we're gonna see how that plays in action to ZF.
That is very, very true. And here we go. We're going to be seeing setup push right on in here, very quickly to the right side or left side. Already getting the Ana picked off though. Ninja.
I'm high going for a flank. It's caught on the flank, and he's trying to survive. It looks like he's going to be able to get it. Zed F is going for sustainability. You see the double snipers are starting to pick at the shields. Widow going up top for a hook shot, does not get anything. Bastion way in the back line, getting assaulted by their entire team, falls like that. Could not be sustained enough. One man down from every team, as looks like Zed F is starting to slowly push in. They might be looking to reset their Hanzo yet. It looks like they are. Their tank's already pushing in though. They're gonna try to get pressure from two angles, both from main and from the side. Fluid's being pushed back to the point.
As we are seeing the triple tank kind of force to the point here.
Getting
Very
the major pick on Mercy.
Nice bubble there by Kawhi. Gonna step on the center.
Oh lord.
Big old shatter. There you go. We're gonna see Fluid, or not Zed, gonna be able to push on through. They're gonna be able to capture the point. However, Fluid, lots of bolts coming into this next fight. Even with the swapping Bastion, they'll be close to 3, 4 actually, because the Mercy, their opponents near 4 as well, gonna be pretty even in ult economy, entering the dreaded second point of Anubis. This point right here is what causes draws, straight up. So I'll have to wait and see where it goes.
We're seeing Fluid switch on the double snipers themselves. Two definitely capable DPS going on to Hanzo and Widow. We're about to see Fluid's Widow is flanking there, doing a 1v1, taking out Connor. As the rest of the team for Zed F is starting to push in, but can't really after the Rissa ult comes in.
Looks like they're just going for a regroup and just trying to wait out time for the Widow to come back and for the supercharger to be over.
And I mean, looking at these two teams' lineups going into this next little brawl, what do you think the win condition is on the side of Zed? I mean, they have ult advantage, and I mean, they have that economy going for them, 4 ults ready to go. So, what do you think their win condition is?
I think their one condition is to use your ult effectively and to not get team wiped, to put it bluntly. If their Ryan gets a good shatter, that's going to be the end of them. But as we see, Akwai will be picked off. He is a major DPS, pretty much a DPS, as we established earlier. He's really dominant on that Zarya, and Umhai is able to pick off the Zed F Widow. Looks like Zed F is forced into their own into choke as they're struggling to get out. It's just a Ryan and 2 supports. Looks like they'll be cleaned up eventually.
Sadly, Honest can be staggered here.
Alright, so as we are seeing Zed backed up towards spawn, this one goes to Xtrid. What do you think they need to plan on doing going into this next attack? They have 4 minutes left, of course, but what's your game plan going in after popping a couple ults and coming up with nothing there?
I would probably suggest switching up comp after you use your Widow and Hanzo ult. Or your... they just seem like they're not necessarily committed to any idea, whether it's brawl or grouping up. It just seems very parted.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting, their comps are relatively mirrored in terms of tank and DPS, but a glaring difference is that Zed F has a Zarya and Fluid has a Diva in place. What do you guys think about that? Either one of you?
I mean, I'm just gonna say that after that big old shatter there that just rocked their opponents, so that was a nice play by Zed. I mean, couldn't quite follow up as much as you would have loved to there on that shatter, but you did force some opponents back to spawn. They are swapping up a couple things. Hey, early pick in this next fight, that should give you an advantage going in. We'll have to wait and see what they can do with Dragons and Beat Drop, along with a Nano coming up shortly behind.
Both teams switched off the Widow. Genji and Doomfist are now. As tanks start to line up, there is a sound barrier popped. Ryan, Nano, and Valk are all in the game now. Okay, we're tossing all alts.
Let's say no deaths confirmed from either side. There you go, Marley, sorry, is going to get the first pick of the fight. Death Unbound shortly behind. We'll have to wait and see what they can do. And hey, Axe, can you post a link in the self-promotion, please?
Yep.
Thank you. And don't forget to use the app, follow me. There we go. Forgot to mention that. But I mean, quickly, we saw a quick exchange of picks there early on, and then Zed pulling back out. Oh, that's the Doomfist. There's going to be High jumping into the back line. Some nice charge. Also pulling out the Brig as well.
Ooh, Cal Mods gets picked again. As this is going to be this could be a turning point for the ZF lineup right now.
There you go.
Ryan gets Nano.
Shattered Dragons. We're going to be seeing the... Oh jeez, we're seeing all kinds of ults. Dragons on the other side now. Fluid. Not a lot of ult kills throughout this one, but it does look like... Oh, Cal
Blade coming out.
Blade as well, going to be used to follow up on some damage here. Nope, High uppercutting him to oblivion. As we will be seeing Fluid continue to hold the second point. Anubis been a near 4 minutes worth, 4 or 5 minutes worth of hold. I don't know what you do here, as we've seen before in the past, just period in the world of Overwatch. This second point is hard to push through. So I mean, you gotta think of something, especially with the Brig able to, sure not bash through shield, but be a constant healing beacon to your team. You gotta figure out a way around it.
Me personally, I think the temple again. If you can't control your respawns as a defender, you're going to get stormed immediately. But on the other hand, if you do stabilize, it's really easy to come back from that kind of stuff. I think ZF's going to need a clear or near clear team wipe to be able to get some percentage onto the point. With only 1 minute left.
I mean, looking at what we just saw in that first team fight, there you go. Colin going to be getting the first pick here, as this team's going to re-engage. They just nearly got team wiped there in that last attempt. However, they are going to get the first pick once again. Quickly pushing a Diva Bomb, flying in through the back with the rally as well. 2 picks by Zaz. Coalescence flies out as well. As we're going to I see a brawl on the point. Colin immediately taken out by Zaz, giving him a triple. Jaybird going to make it a quadra for the team, as they're going to follow up on the remaining Hanzo. Marley there will be the 4th victim of Zaz's rampage. High will get Connor, and we will be seeing Zed on their last push. They do have Dragon and Shatter, should have Blade as well, and Beat Drop within the fight. Opposing side will be seeing Nano, Shatter, and Dragon Blade with the Meteor Strike close behind. So let's see what Zed can do with only 9 seconds left. They're pushing in. Lucio going straight around, gonna touch point, it seems. Never mind. Shatter gonna get 1. Dragons as well. Dragon Blade, dragons on both sides. 2 picks, 3 picks for Zed, 3 for Fluid. Very tight matchup. Connor gonna make it for High, 4 as well for Fluid. Tied throughout. As the giant fist comes from the sky, gonna boop the Genji. Gonna kill the Doomfist actually as the break comes back with the Atomic Diva. Zed only has 2 on the point. They're trying to fight for their lives. We do have the hamster though to scroll back up there as well with the Lucio. That's 3 with 5 on the side of Fluid coming to point. It does look like the spawn advantage will be in Fluid's favor here, as now they can just bully out these ZF members that are on the point. We'll have to wait and see what they can do. Boom up. Gonna get 2 again!
Ooh, and that's a closer.
Beautiful, beautiful first round for both teams. As now I'm going to hand the microphone off for the rest of the round to our 2 lovely commentators, Axe, Crid, and Toskinator. Take it away.
That is a horrible idea. As we're beginning our defenses, we're going to have to see... turns out Zed F did get 33.6% on the second point, meaning there are still win conditions for that team. I wonder how they're going to set up with their defense. It looks like they might run a Junkrat. What do we have on the side of Fluid, Charlie?
It looks like they're going to be doing a triple tank with a Hammond. So it looks like they're going to be running a solo DPS, that's a sniper.
The Hammonds might be there to push people in the air for maybe High to skeet shoot. We're not really sure. He looks indecisive about the Widow though, as ZF is going to be running a triple support comp. Looks like they're really playing to their tanks this round. They have not only 2 main healers, they also have Brig, along with Orisa and Hog, who are really good at taking damage, as Brig switches over to Zen.
You know, with the Hammond being rapid, as long as he avoids getting hooked, I feel like the Hammond and Widow are Fluid's win conditions.
Yeah. It looks like they're almost banking on Widow to be able to get a quick pick, and this credibility is well deserved, as again extremely dangerous DPS lineup from Fluid. As Hammond drops onto point, drops onto the platform, gets hooked and is down. One of the things that strikes me as pretty interesting is on the top left from point, you see Ana drop back down. That's a really advantageous spot for an Ana to be in, especially if you're trying to see the whole map. Rein charges in and is weak, but his shield's about to get broken too. Getting healed up by Ana, Zen gets picked from Zostin's Hammond.
Fluid's gonna have to make a push off of that one. Like, most of the healers are down on the side of ZF.
Yeah, it looks like Fluid's going to be here to clean up the point. As you said, Axe, Hammond definitely was a viable win condition for this team. As they clean up the rest of the point.
Staggered.
But will they be able to push in time? Looks like they will be there. As they are all starting to funnel onto point, and looks like a massive team fight's going to ensue.
The Zarya is gonna get nanoed, and she's high charged. If they don't shut that down fast, it's gonna be deadly.
Yeah, looks like Jay did manage to ante the tranquility, which was relatively good, but that Zarya's ult was not followed up on, which can be pretty huge for Zed F's side. Nothing really happened too much on that team fight over a long and drawn out brawl. We see that that Zed F is starting to come up on a lot of ults now. They're close to 4 ults, and on Fluid side they're running 3 themselves. Looks like Hammond. Oh, Junkrat tire coming out.
Zassin will get
Hammond
slept.
jumping in the middle.
However, he is able to pop off his ult before he dies.
But will that ult do much? No, that's as Fluid is starting to do another soft reset. You can't help but wonder, what are they gonna pull out their sleeves this time? Hog gets a hook, doesn't and starts the soul ulti as Zarya. It can be really good. Zarya was on a good charge. Shatter coming out, gets blocked. And Nano and Coalescence both come out on the side of Zed F, as they really working to defend this point. Lucio's one of the only people who are able to escape. And again, this is another team fight won from Zed, my bad.
We will see the switch off from the Widow to the Hanzo on Fluid side.
As Junkrat's ult is the only major ult coming up now for Zed F. Oh, I missed Rissa too. Meanwhile, Jay does have Nano, which can be huge, and gets picked from that fight. Hanzo's also picked as well. Zarya goes down too, and it looks like they might have Fluid might have to back up again. Baby Diva is still out of mech. Wonder if she can get back in time. They're able to pick Lucio and Ryan again. Diva's still trying to fly, fully, but nope, gets picked too.
It
Looks like ZF's gonna, yeah.
Looks like Fluid's gonna give up on the triple tank and just go straight with the Hanzo Sombra.
Yep, Sombra just tried to attack Ana, and that didn't go too well for Sombra's side. But it can show that they're trying to. They might try to open up with a Sombra push. Sombra's running behind again. Gonna see if they can do anything. Nano and Cease both come out. As Ryan, Trance comes out too from ZF's side, as no real picks have been established yet. A lot of antis, a lot of low health. Zen and Orisa both get picked. Ana goes down too. However, they do get Sombra, Diva, and Ryan. This is fairly contested, as both teams are down by 4. However, Fluid's only 2 heroes left are both healers. They won't be able to do too much in this fight. Jake comes down too, and it looks like ZF's gonna hold again. It just goes to show how sustainable this comp is. They're able to, they don't take a lot of damage, but the damage they do take is heavily supported by the Ana, Moya, and Zen. You see Sombra starting to come behind here. We're gonna see she's gonna try to attack the Ana soon. Both DPS on Fluid side go down, forcing another reset. So we see Fluid having 5 ults. How do you think they're going to use them effectively, Charlie?
If I was Fluid, I would probably bank on the Sombra Diva combo and see how efficiently that works, and then just clean up after.
And that's what they did. They got a triple, and that's a huge push, as no one gets on point, causing Fluid to take point. Map 1 being over, Fluid really does have good use of their ults, as they've shown time and time again this map. They're able to establish an ult economy and then keep that ult economy. I think Zostin really showed up well this map. He got a lot of picks first point on his attack round. As D.Va, he got consistently good bombs, and he got important bombs too. Especially that last one he was able to pull off that with the help of Sombra too, but nonetheless. Second map is Blizzard World? Yeah. What do you think we're going to be seeing here?
Probably a lot of dive with a lot of maybe possibly sim. Just get around fast.
Now I'm not really sure about Fluid's tank lineup too much. What can you say about that compared to Zed F's?
Fluid's tank lineup is definitely a lot more brawl in comparison to Zed F's, but in comparison to Zed F, I feel like their tank lineup is a little bit organized when it comes to straight pick damage, where they focus on the same person and just shoot him down really hard, like burst him down.
Yeah, I think Zed F's tank lineup is extremely sustainable, and besides Fluid, despite Fluid having their organizational brawl-based team lineup going for them, I think if Zed F is able to sustain themselves well, and if they're able to use ults effectively, I think they can take this, because we saw their defensive point B was something really be looked at. They didn't use too many ults, but the ults they used were effective, and they're able to keep their team alive a lot of the time during fights. So we're gonna see if are there any switches going in. It looks like there is one. Lord going in for death, right?
Yep.
As I don't think other switches are going to be made.
Red Hawk going in.
Oh, yeah, Red Hawk going in for who is that?
Bullet.
Yeah. We're gonna see his tank come out too. Again, very strong tanks on the side of Zed F. Hopefully they're gonna be able to pull something together, especially Blizzard World. This is especially for first and third points. This relies on tanks, and they rely on good tanks, especially.
I'm excited to see what Zed F is gonna pull out. I mean, they have people who can play a bunch of different things. I'm especially looking forward to possibly seeing a triple tank with a Hammond or a triple tank dive.
Yeah, they've pulled triple tank more than once in the last map, so I don't think I couldn't see a reason why they wouldn't do it this one. As we're getting a bit of a festive themed tone to this map, we're gonna start to see the Doomfist and Widow from Zed F as they are attacking first, I believe. Zostin going Winston, as you suspect about that dive component that they're gonna be running. Winston Reinhardt. Okay, that's that's a bit more intriguing. As the totally legit comp that Zed F is running, which is 4 DPS and 2 tanks, I think they're really gonna damage their way through this one.
You go all in,
Yeah, look at their Sim and Torb. I think they're really gonna be teleporting that turret well. Looks like Zed F, on the other hand, switched their Winston off for D.Va and is using a Sim legitimately. So that's gonna be exciting. Sim and Tracer, not a common DPS duo going in. We're gonna see how they play over each other.
And on the side of Zed F, you're gonna see the Hammond Diva dive along with the Doomfist, but also in the background you're gonna see a Widow trying to get some quick picks.
Diva slept, gets woken back up as they're gonna resume their push. Sim setting up some turrets as Tracer is behind Zed F right now. She's gonna see what she can do there. Sim is attacking Widow, manages to kill Widow here. Doomfist charging up on the Rhine, getting the Rhine low, but getting charged. Hate to see that one happen. As looks like Zed F is gonna restart this push.
You know, and I gotta hand it to them for knowing when their pushes are stopped, you know, especially with the suicide on the Moira, just to make sure that they don't get any ult charge or staggers.
Yeah, you're also right. They're going. Well, I mean, they're not running full dive. They're not running dive at all over at Zed F. They're going to be running a Winston, probably to deal with the Sim, if I had to guess.
Let's make a quick pick on the Tracer.
As we're going to see Zed F start to slowly push in. Look how solid and organized they are. Diva Bomb comes out. It gets two. Ryan's shield was just not enough. As we're going to see if they continue the push, which I don't think they're doing anymore. As you said, they're getting out quickly and getting out effectively. However, Ryan started to overextend, so Diva went to help. That's perfect. As we see Zed F's Hanzo slowly putting poke damage onto Ryan. Switch over from Widow to Doomfist. Over on Zed F's side. They have a minute 40 left to try to push this one. We see Tracer up top left. She's going to try to get a pick. She has Pulse Bomb. That could be an easy pick as Zed F is a team that groups up a lot. Sound Barrier, Nano, Dragons, and Barrier all come out. Picks are relatively even, but seem to be going for Fluid on this team. Sim is cleaning up house as Zed F gets dismantled by her turrets. Now, looks like both Zed F's tank ults and Beat are going to be online for this next fight. We're going to be able to see how well they're going to be able to use them. Switch over to Ashe after Tracer gets picked. Beat coming out. Primal coming out too. Shatter down. Second shatter down. As Ryan gets deleted. Widow goes. However, Fluid's Lucio is done. However, the Lucio pick was not enough because they managed to get overthrown. Looks like they're going for the Ashe dagger. Will they get it or not? They might. Ryan overextending a slight amount. I don't think he's in any immediate danger though. They're running full dive on this team. Tracer gets nanoed. That's going to be deadly. Able to pick off McCree. Sim turrets going at it again. Their dive is just not enough right now. As Fluid is able to full hold Zed. What do you think about that, Charlie?
I think like with the Sim setup, there's just really high burst. Just the comp that Zed F was running couldn't handle that.
Yeah, no. Right now, Fluid is definitely on the upper hand of this one, running a Sim Bastion with a Hammond. That's going to be a fun one. If they actually go through with it, which they might, Blizzard World does have that high ground on the left or right side, depending on how you look at it, that can be teleported to. So it's definitely a possibility that could be a thing. Without not switching to Hammond, yeah, Fluid's going to be going Diva instead of Hammond. as they're going into their attacking round. Now we see Zed F relatively indecisive about what they're going to be choosing. You see an Ashe, a Reinhardt, and a Zarya come out. They switch to a Bastion themselves. This is going to be a fun round to watch with a Zen Mercy on Zed F's side.
You know,
As it looks right
with
now,
the Sombra pick, in the Ashe, I mean, as long as they get the hacks off on the proper people, it'll keep their lineup down. It's just dependent on that Sombra getting the hack off.
Yeah, we're gonna be the Sombra. I would compare a Sombra to like the Sim on defense last round. If the Sombra is able to utilize her hacks as well as the Sim utilized her turrets and her TPs, I think this can be an easy draw for Zed F. But we're about to see what's going to happen here. As Sombra is starting to flank from the left side, wait for the other team. Fluid opted to go right from spawn.
Hawk AFK or controller dead?
Well,
they're working hard to keep him alive, but
yeah, and yep, looks like he DC'd here. However, Zed was able to get enough picks to keep the game running. Sim going around from Fluid's side, taking small shots at Zed F. Bob's here to do something, making it a 6v6. Lucio and Sombra come down. Bob gets deleted.
Zen gets deleted as well.
Yep, looks like Fluid's here to clean up. Due to a misfortune coming from Zed F's side.
You know, and be honest, like how fast the Ashe on Zed F's side got Bob, like had that DC not occurred, Zed F had a really strong chance of making it a draw.
Yeah, no, they started off the round extremely well with those easy 2 picks before that accident decided to happen. I think Jaybird and Sim were both really instrumental to having this, making this whole comp work, this whole map work for them in their favor. Jaybird for sustainability, he is a definitely a respectable Ana, and it looks like the Widow who can't miss can also play a really good Sim too.
Definitely agree, especially with the amount of anti-nades that Jay and MJ have been hitting. Like both sides is just anti-nades. It's just based off of who can get the most usage off of the anti-nades, and Fluid has definitely been abusing Jay's anti-nades a lot more.
Yeah. As I previously talked about Zed F's sustainability, Jay can hold a tank lineup by himself and keep them intact, which allows Fluid's tanks to be able to do their own thing. Looks like next map's gonna be Lijiang Tower. What are you expecting from this one?
I'm expecting to see the possibility of either goats, because it's a pretty popular goats map, but also a Pharah.
Yeah, Pharah is really dominant, especially on gardens, for obvious reasons. I think for Control Center there could be a good level that of brawl that might take place. I wouldn't be surprised if you're to see a Reaper Widow combo, or any sort of lineup coming there. Both teams have a respectable and even dangerous Widow for them. So we're about to see. We might be able to see some Widow 1v1s coming out. As we're
Fluidity.
seeing bullets. Yeah. All right, Bullet Stopper is coming back in from in place of Red Hawk. Looks like Red Hawk hasn't been put back in due to his DC. Death comes in for
Is Austin.
Austin. Yeah. As I don't think any other swaps are going to be made right now.
You know, and I'm gonna be honest and say, the tank combination on Fluid could definitely be a variety, and any of them are honestly pretty scary. So I'm kind of excited to see who they pull out and on what.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think there are any distinct differences between Death and Zostin's tanks?
Zostin tends to lean more on off tanks or more dive tanks, such as like Winston and Diva and Hammond. Those are like more of his specialty, as Death is more of a brawl. But
Yeah,
can
we've seen
get to the
Death
other
on.
things.
Yeah, we have seen Death on the Rhine on Temple of Anubis, and I'll say he is definitely something to be aware of. He has a lot of presence in his map, and I think as a main tank, he commands his space really well. We saw in Temple of Anubis he's able to save a few points just by being on that point. We're gonna start to see maybe a dive come out from Fluid and possibly a sim come out from Zed F. We're not really sure. Looks like Fluid's leaning more towards dive here as Lord originally went Genji, might switch though. But we see the Winston Diva there coming out from Fluid. ZF meanwhile are going to be running another triples, no, not a triple support, a double support. They might use Hammond as a main tank this round. Maybe.
Not 100% sure. It looks like they might be indecisive as to what they're running.
Kawhi switching over to Ryan. They're running a Ryan Zarya
They're
with a
running
Hammond.
goats.
Yeah. We're gonna see Fluid's gonna be able to get to the point first due to their versatility of their comp.
Huge sleep on the Hammond.
Tracer, Genji. Yep. Tracer, Genji starting to disrupt the disrupt ZF. We're gonna see if they get picked or not. Tracer gets picked, felled by a Reinhardt fire strike as Diva gets charged, and we'll see the dive starting to fall apart as no one really can get damage onto the Goats comp. Goats comp being that of sustainability and a lack thereof of DPS, but as long as the fight can draw out, I think the Goats comp will be able to hold itself together.
It looks like Fluid is gonna be switching over to a triple DPS comp.
However, something special about this is that every DPS is a flanker. They have a Genji, Sombra, and Tracer, so it's either they're going to be running 3 flankers at one time to disrupt any sort of backline that Zed might have, or they might be using one of the flankers as a main DPS, i.e. a Sombra. Looks
You know,
like
and a lot of
Brig
bolts
pops
just
rally.
went out to that. Shatter went out to that. Nano went out to that. A Brig ult went out to that.
Tracer gets popped quickly. As there might be a contest for point now, as it's a 4v5. Blade comes out too. ZF's Ryan and Moira are off point. They're kind of dead. Genji gets picked by Hammond's Mines. You see Tracer still in the back line trying to put as much damage as possible. However, Beat comes out from Zed, slightly keeping them alive. However, EMP comes out, Moira comes out. Kawaii is able to pick up too.
You know, I'm gonna head it up to ZF
yeah.
for keeping that stall up until the rest of the team could come back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they're able to keep that, especially since Fluid having numbers going in that fight originally. That's the thing about goats. If you're able to sustain it, then you're gonna be able to win the fight. Sombra still on point, being the last. Ana might be able to touch, is able to touch, not for long. Beat comes out over on Fluid. It's only a matter of how long it could last. Ryan tries to soul shatter Lucio, but tactically misses it. Ana coming out, trying to stay on point as long as possible, but this can't happen, as first point is going to go to Zed F. What do you think? What do you think is the reason that Zed was able to stay level-headed, to stay so dominant at the point this on Gardens?
They were able to stay very grouped together, and they didn't spread off. And they were just able to abuse their comp until basically the game was done.
Now we're gonna see May, Farah, Sim and Farah come out from Fluid. Sim absolutely destroying on Blizzard World. We're gonna see if that happens again, with the Hammond coming out from Fluid as well. Looks like Zed's gonna keep their same lineup. We're gonna see if Goats is gonna stay dominant on this map, as I believe it will. I think Zed might get a 2-0 here, but it all depends on the Sim and the Farah, to be honest.
Also on the Hammond, just how much disruption they cause.
You're right about that. If the Hammond's able to disrupt Fluid enough, disrupt Zed enough, then some serious tide turners can be held.
Got 2 picks off on Fluid side. 3 picks, but they're on a will fall.
They're on a fall, but everyone on Zed's just gone. Non-existent. So Fluid's able to take this one. What do you think was the deciding factor?
Just the amount of disruption they're able to cause. You know, as before, Zed F was able to play very close quarters and grouped up, but with the disruption that was caused, they weren't able to do that.
Hammond originally gained 2 picks first fight, manages to get picked second fight. However, Barrage comes out as 3 others get picked, 4 others get picked, and it looks like it's gonna be the end of another fight. As I said, Sim is definitely able to disrupt and or slow down the Goats comp.
No, definitely.
Hammond switches to Diva.
Boops off
Zarya gets environmental.
Nanoed Pharah in the backlines. However, I don't think it's gonna get anything.
Yeah. However, Jace able to keep the Pharah up almost as good as a Mercy can. Rally comes out. Hammond's balls come out. That sounds horrible. Rally comes out from both sides. We see Moira's Coalescence come out too. As Moira's gonna try to focus on damage, trying to kill the Pharah. Never mind, going on to the Ana. We see trades from either side, as Zed F might be able to get this one. Shatter coming out from A team, from Zed F. As Hammond's just trying to stall till 99. Can he get that? Looks like he will be able to get to 99. Never mind. But it doesn't matter either way. We see Sim starting to flank onto point. Whether that is going to do too much, we're not sure. Sim is found out and getting damaged quickly. There is more reinforcements and Sim goes down. You gotta be careful with your flanks, because if you aren't, then it can not only get you can not only get picked, but your team can suffer from it too. As we're gonna see, Fluid can't really push in right now. They're doing small poke damage. Hammond, who can get out really easily, is coming in just to take small pot shots. Farah is shooting rockets in as Ana's doing everything she can to stay keep them alive.
Looks like 3 ults will be coming out on Fluid side.
Graph came out earlier from Zarya's from Zed F. Diva bomb coming out. That doesn't pick anything. However, Zed F does have another coalescence that can be used. Zed F is able to rally up, as we see the fruits of that coming out through some picks onto Zed F. Everyone except the Diva is picked. However, Diva is staying on for a surprising amount of time, able to keep her alive until the very end.
You know, Brig is just able to stay up for so long, allowing enough time for Moira to come in and contest.
Yeah, it's honestly surprising how long they're contesting right now. I thought the fight would have officially ended 30 seconds ago. Looks like Hammond gets spoofed off, comes back on.
You know, and that's something I have to give Zed F props for, is they're not done until the map's done.
Yeah, they're consistent with their with how they handle their fights. They take a lead and they don't slack off at all. They continue to kill, making it 1-1. That was a lot closer round than the first. We're gonna see if Zed F can make some swaps or improve their playstyle to be able to counter what Zed F's thrown at them. I think a hit scan's gonna be well needed. Hogs coming out from Kawaii. I don't know if they're gonna be treating that as a hit scan. I know Kawaii is very dangerous with his hooks.
You know, if I was Zed, I'd probably give up on goats. It worked the first time, but it wasn't efficient the second time.
No, not at all. We see a Torb might be coming out for Zed F. Never mind, they're going goats again. Fluid's gonna be running Tracer and Pharah instead of the Sim. Sim started to be effective. I don't know if it slowed down. They're slowly starting into a brawl as Ryan is caught alone. However, both sides are able to stabilize. Clorox gets picked.
You know, and I'm gonna say, with the comps that they're running, it looks like it's gonna go on the side of Zed.
Yeah, Zed might be able to pull it out. Turns out their goats is far superior to any other comp.
You know, just on a Brig isn't gonna be able to out heal the Moira Lucio Brig alongside the Hog. They're going a very sustained healing comp.
Yeah, that's something that Zed F is very dominant on. Yep, Kawaii is able to stabilize that Pharah, get her under control. Shatter comes out from both sides. Zed's Ryan almost baits himself as he gets shattered after getting his shatter blocked. Brig and Ryan both get picked on ZF's side, as we're gonna see Fluid start to slowly ease on point with Hammond's fantastic skill, strategy, and tactics being employed on point. Me personally, I really do love the spin around. I call it the yo-yo on this map. However, it does look like they're forced off by Zed. No matter how many picks Fluid originally got on Zed. We saw originally the Brig and Ryan got picked early on into the fight, but they still managed to hold it no less. We're gonna see Hammond start to try to disrupt, but the amount of CC and stuns that were put on him were too much. Shatter coming out, Grav coming out. Shatter getting 3, Grav taking those 3 and putting them together. As Justice comes out, it does not rain a lot. Looks like the clouds have cleared up because that rain is now a trickle. Hammond spinning around point, but Brig decided that there wasn't any time to have fun in Overwatch. as Fluid can't really get on point to too much more. There's a Farah, but there's not a whole lot that a Farah can do right there. Hammond gets on point, starts spinning around, and knocks a few people from Zed F off, but we're not going to be able to see too much sustain from that right now. As Zed F is able to take this map, come back from losing the first two. What do you think was the reason that Zed F was able to be so dominant on this map? Not despite round two. What do you think was the reason that Zed F was going to be able to be so dominant compared to the first two maps?
They were just able to get the essential picks consistently. Like every fight, they're just immediately picking off the Brig, losing a lot of the C and the healing just instantly.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's also sustainability. Again, I think it's like the fourth time I've talked about it this scrim, but Zed F, there's a fight where Zed F got their Rhine and their Brig picked, and then they got someone else picked later in the fight, yet they still won that overall fight just because who they had alive was able to stay alive.
Definitely.
They're able to manage the point really well. Are they going to switch Zostin back in? And if so, is Death going to come back out? Next map is Rialto. Yeah. We're going to see if Rialto is going to work here. As for the past 2 weeks, it decided it doesn't like working all the time.
Do we have a backup map just in case if the map breaks again?
Good question. I mean, you could always go for Dorado again, I guess, or probably I'd say I might try to switch things up and go watch point.
Yeah, it'll probably be decided on the spot, but hopefully it doesn't break. I'm really excited to see what teams pull out for Rialto because it's very open with comps. You can run just about anything and it has a high chance of working.
Yeah, it's this map definitely pushes the players on it to not only think of comps that work together, but also to enforce those playstyles. Again, you mentioned how there are a lot of wide variety of comps that can be employed. I think personally, it's gotta be closer to a brawl or goat centralized comp. I think because no one's really been running too much dive, apart from the occasional fluids dive, right?
Yep.
And on ZF side, if goats is working for them, then I don't know why they would play anything else, right?
Exactly, and especially with this map being so known for running a quad tank and double support defense for defending point. I've seen a lot of teams, not specifically in this league, but in other leagues, where they just start out brawling at the beginning of defense point, and it is almost next near impossible to attack against. So I'm excited to see if they pull out something like that. But
so am I.
Find out.
As ZF is looking to intimidate Fluid with their player icons. They're trying to assert their dominance, showing that they might have a better Widow here. Might be me. I don't know. Zostin did get switched in, however, it's for Cal Mods this time. Earlier I saw Cal Mods on Temple of Anubis switching off tank to go Hanzo. I don't know if he is a flex in that regard, or if it's just more of like a, I can play all tanks, but here's like the 1 or 2 DPS I can play.
We're gonna see the icon switches on ZF's side. I like it.
Yeah, they're really trying to enforce their own agendas onto others. Rialto's starting. We're gonna see again an exciting map. We're gonna be seeing what each team wants to use to push each of those players to the best of their abilities. Oh, I'm the new owner of the game.
Yeah, Chubby has to leave.
We'll
You
switch
got
it to
too much
Yeti
power.
Hunt.
Oh my god, no.
We're gonna be our 5th map is going to be Yeti Hunt.
May Snowball with Yeti Hunt.
May 6v6.
Yeah.
I really want to.
I wish.
Oh.
Sadly, guys, that is not the contents for today. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. But it would be fun.
You know, I'm enjoying the shenanigans from Zed F side. The Torb turret at the front door. Just leaving it for a present.
Yeah, it's an early Christmas present as Mailman hasn't come back yet. However, we are going to see this Torb turret being put effectively into action. Fluid might not be able to stop this one. Torb turret looks pretty deadly, its placement being impeccable, and you can't really get to it. There's no getting to that Torb turret. That's final.
Looks like Fluid might be running a man down for this.
Yeah, Lord of Ravnica hasn't, Ravnica? Yeah, hasn't, chosen anything yet. Looks like, Diva's solo pushing cart as the rest of Zed F is running. They're starting into a big brawl. They ditched cart, which is fine because if you win the fight, you can get extra push on the cart, right?
100%.
So that's what they chose to do. They have 9 people on cart now as Hanzo's still there, able to pick off the Moya. No one's really, is anyone pushing and chasing him down? Yes, but he is
he'll be able
well
to
alive. Yep. Now, will they be able to set up with the Moya again before fight can ensue? Apparently not, as ZF decides to engage without a main healer.
I think it's interesting how we're gonna see Lord and Jaybird switch roles. Jaybird and the Lucio.
I wonder if this is practice or if they decide to do this on the spot, and if so, why?
I think in worst case scenario where because Jay started out on the Zen, and I think they knew they needed an Ana, and it just kind of led out to this. I think Fluid just needs to die and regroup completely.
One thing that I find really interesting is that look at the tank lineup over on. Actually, huge. Never mind. Let's not look at the tank lineup, but instead let's look at the triple that Colin just got.
You know, I like the alternate though, like where it's like almost Dotes but not quite. Like instead of opting for a Hammond, they instead chose a Roadhog, which is actually really good against Austin's Hammond. And look, there's no mention of Zarya anywhere on this on ZF's comp, or even in the game. In that fact, the nanoed Ryan not able to do too much as he gets pushed around by the Primal Rage. Rally coming out over on ZF side. Junkrat trying to get high ground on Fluid side. Meanwhile, Beat coming out for Fluid as Winston is on cart getting some free push. Not going to be useful in the long run until nobody forgets about him, and he manages the back cap on this one. As Fluid's chief might say, this is it. And Winston falls, but that doesn't matter because they cap second point. They have just under 5 minutes to go right now. We'll see what kind of strats Fluid might pull out to counter this sort of ghost that has been working for them. It has been. I would not expect this form of ghost, especially with the hog, to thrive so well. But as we see, their setup is a lot more sustainable. Huge Shatter comes out. Tire Gut there follow up along with Mines. I think that might have been maybe one too many ults as they used 4 ults for that push. That wasn't much of a push.
Yep, Baby D staggered for a few seconds, knocked some time off the clock. As Fluid's coming up on. Fluid has the nano, but other than that, not too much going for them. Nano used on the Junkrat to try to push some extra damage onto tanks. That ends up working as Junkrat's able to down hog. Diva Bomb coming out doesn't get anything as opposed. Yeah, doesn't get anything as opposed to the triple recently got.
I'm gonna be honest, the strat that they had nanoing the Junkrat, pre-firing him, it was very high risk, high reward.
Yeah, looks like it might have worked for a short period of time, but not too much now. It looks like Fluid has been running the triple support. Don't know if they're gonna switch off to anything else ever, especially since besides that Junkrat, they don't really have a whole lot of damage coming out. Junkrat picking off too, though. You don't need extra damage when you have a nice tire like that. They're leaving the cart for a sec. I wonder if they're gonna back cap again. I'm sorry. Looks like Zed's gonna be resetting at spawn as they're slowly pushing up. We see a fair coming out over on Zed's side. No instant counters on Fluid's side besides the Ana. Hopefully the Ana is able to focus on healing the team as well as never mind. Yeah, that's a bit of role reversal there. Junkrat falls, which is still fine just because I think the Junkrat can get there first before the Pharah. Hammer down coming on. Yeah. That was smashing as Lucio is able to drop the beat as well. Fluid's Hammond coming and using mines. As not too much is to be said right now. Nothing is really going on. There's a small soft reset. Zari's pushing in alone. Wonder if they're gonna get picked. Nope, does not get picked. Instead, Ryan and the rest of the team are there to back him up. Fluid's beat comes out. Coalescence come out from Zed F. And looks like Shatter coming out, grabbing 3. No capitalization though. As Junkrat is a new counter to Pharah in this game apparently. Fluid might be here enough to hold. However, the Zarya being 99 charge is gonna be here to stay. As Graf comes out, maybe they can get a pick or two. They do get a pick. However, Shatter coming out on the Zarya, I think it was worth it to be completely honest. Zarya's way too high charge. However, yeah, he does not capitalize on that solo. I'm not gonna criticize the ult, but there should have been a follow-up there.
Definitely. The prioritization was there, but just no team follow-up.
Clorox getting turning a shield at the wrong time, getting picked off by Zarya. Pharah putting in a rocket there. As Zed F is starting to push onto point completely, going into the final checkpoint. Healers over on Fluid are down because Pharah managed to get a triple. Looks like they're gonna end up capping with what, like around 30 seconds left maybe? Not really sure.
You know, and I gotta say, you know, you leave Connor on Zarya and just let him roam. He's going to carry the game. Like, you need to shut him down the second he gets any sort of charge.
Whoops, just got a message from Zostin asking me to take him back to the lobby, lol.
Can we do that?
No, we're too far in already. That wouldn't be fair.
No, it wouldn't be.
I had to respond accordingly, telling him that my phone is silent while at work here. Most professional corporation in the business here. As
Brandon
nothing can get.
A lol 69.
Nothing gets more professional than me and my innuendos. So definitely not in the middle of something else right now. But we're gonna be watching as Zed F is now on the defending side. Could possibly be on the receiving end of that slap they just dished out to Fluid. Fluid running a Reaper and Pharmacy. Look at that high damage, high healing though. They have an Honor and Mercy there with Ryan and Hammond.
You know,
We're
they're
gonna
just waiting for them to come out and then just jump.
Yep. We're gonna see how they're gonna react
Lucio
to
will
it.
get
Lucio. Yikes. As Farrah's gonna get Mercy's gonna get pulled. Connor effectively utilizing the hook on Hog. That's what I like to see coming out from Hog. Apparently more than one person can play Hog over on Zed F. That is unimaginably scary.
I don't want to go against it.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest. We're gonna be seeing how Fluid's able to adapt to that. They haven't really switched out their comp too much right now, as Goat's still working on Zed F. Fluid adamantly not wanting to play Goats, but right now they aren't really doing too much.
Anna with the hook on the Reinhardt.
To be completely honest, that wasn't a bad solo shatter, just because you took off a lot of healing. You forced the Mercy to either keep the Pharah alive or go over to tanks, which you couldn't do both because Ryan got pulled off too. It looks like Reaper's going to get staggered now. Pharmacy starting to make a little bit more space for the tanks to collect. Hog whiffed his hook, tried to stagger someone else. Not gonna happen right now.
You know, I'm gonna say I'm not the biggest fan of the Widow switch.
Oh, the thing about running Widow is if you can't get headshots on this comp, it's just not gonna work, period. But even if you do get headshots, it still might not work just because, again, high sustainability. They have 3 tanks and 3 healers. 3 of those headshots won't kill. However, what will kill is Jaybird over to Lucio. Hammond trying to create a bit more space over on Fluid's side. Moving on to their tank lineup, we're going to be seeing Ryan and Hammond slowly sticking with the cart. Hammond going to flank. Justice coming out, killing Ryan. However, Justice does get put to sleep.
Mercy will res that.
Farrah's back in the game. As also getting nanoed, we're going to be seeing that come out. I haven't seen a nanoed Pharah in a while. Hog ult comes out just to close the case on this fight. As we see Zed F starting to retreat slowly. Widow Pharah getting picked again. As cart's moving back, there isn't a whole lot to say. Fluid is starting to almost crumble under Zed F's comp. Hog getting another hook. And it's almost like they just can't catch a break with all these environmentals.
High is trying to get the initial pick.
Yeah, it just doesn't go well. Hog gets another pick onto Hammond, as it doesn't look too good for Fluid right now. I would suggest Ryan back up slowly, and maybe you can get another chance. But Slam comes out, doesn't get anything. Slam comes out and gets more than nothing. As Ryan's gonna clean up. Kawaii very dominant on the tanks in general. Pharah can't really hold too much, but is still holding some sort of presence. Not for long though, as Moira is able to strike her down. And it looks like there might be a reverse sweep coming on the side of Zed F.
That's it.
Oh, I have to set the next map, don't I?
Yep.
Help me. No, I was kidding.
Oh lord. Who needs a hit scan when you have Colin Zarya?
Yeah, okay, we got this, alright, you just go talk while I set next map. Next map's Busan, right?
I gotta check.
Is it concept competitive already? Yes, it is. Looks like, we might all be set. Looks like, alright. Zed F, not going to be swapping in right now. Are we going to get any swaps over on, Fluid side?
What would you suggest to be changed on Fluid side to possibly give them back the advantage that they had starting off?
I would definitely, I definitely either try to run more, a better tank presence, whether that be Orisa Hog, because I think that could work if you're able to keep the tanks alive and they might be able to put out more damage. Depends on the map, obviously, but the shortcut solution would just be to run goats.
Definitely.
Alright, looks like no one's going to be swapping here, as we are coming into the next...
Did Fluid say no?
3, 2... Fluid didn't respond. So...
Gotta wait till they respawn.
I mean, okay, we'll wait here all day. We're all good,
It's
fam.
awesome sniping, so it's fine.
Cal for
Yep.
Ooh, looks like it's gonna be a spicy one here.
Ooh.
Swapping over to blue team. Oh, can I mess with the names? No. I'm not gonna do
No.
that. Anyways, that's gonna be it right now. We're going to be starting
What was
as
the
we're going.
scores?
Right now it's 2-2.
Is it?
Yeah, a
Why did I
reverse
think
sweep
there
might
was a
be going on.
tie?
There
Was
was
there?
no tie. No. Temple of
Anyways.
Anubis was won by Fluid.
Oh, okay.
Remember the triple bombs?
Nope. Oh yeah. Okay,
C9?
We good. We ain't tripping.
All right, we out here. As switching out, can prove to be good in this situation. I'm primarily playing the Widow. What I know I'm high for. But they're gonna be running goats here. Looks like they have to fall under the pressure. If you can't beat them, join them. And if it's goats, you have to play goats, or else you're not gonna win. However, over on Zed F, looks like we're gonna be seeing another tactical Torbjorn for like the 4th map in a row.
Please commit. Please. I need a Torb.
We all need a little bit of Torb in our life.
Imagine if he could still give armor packs. Just best goats right there. He's with the Torb.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
they're
know,
actually
Torbjorn-
committing to the Torb. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yes.
This is gonna be an interesting one as Fluid decides to go goat, looking at the villains in this game. It's all right. Whatever you have to do to win in this league.
Double shield tanks with the Torb. They're just gonna go protect the Torb, protect the president. They will be getting the pick on the brig.
Yeah. Looks like the Orisa shields here for the turret alone, but however, there will
Eva
be
will be
a
getting
Reinhardt
up.
too. Shatter
Ooh.
coming out, picking 3. Looks like Fluid's gonna not only get the cap, but they have a chance of winning the fight. Looks like picks are coming out indecisively on each team.
Diva will be
Diva getting
demeched.
demeched. Yeah. Zed F starting to push back against the blue wave. That is Fluid. All right, that 20% was definitely good percentage, but it wasn't enough to keep point. As Fluid gets taken off a point, Torb's still working pretty well. He does a lot of burst damage. If he can hit his secondary fires, he will be able to be effective in this map. Especially how he picked off Brig on the first fight. We're gonna see as Fluid starts to come back. They don't have any swaps that I'm aware of. No, they don't. They're going to be same comps on both sides. Ryan gets Road gets a hook.
But the
nothing
Zarya's
happens.
bubble will be able to save that.
Rissa and Hog both come out for over on Zed F side.
Ooh, that's going to be a huge bomb. Oh,
as
wow.
it gets triple. However, Torb is still on point. Is it time to switch up this Torb? The thing about the Torb urn is if you can't set up, then it's not going to be too effective. Looks like they will be switching off, and instead they'll be running triple support with an Ashe.
You know, I gotta give Cal props. He's continually giving these supports bubbles when they're getting hooked.
Oh, yes,
Lucio will fall. Huge shatter on this Ryan's in, but will get nothing.
You're right about that. As no, not Fluid. Zed is able to take back point as they're winning this fight. It's an easy cap for them. Right now, it's relatively back and forth. That's something that we would expect. It's 2-2 right now. Fluid originally started dominating, then Zed F was able to push back. Who knows what can happen on this 5th map? No real swaps on the side of Fluid. Rally's coming out for Fluid, and they're starting to group up on the left and or right side.
Huge shatter. We'll be getting the Reinhardt.
Ashe putting in some extra damage with that dynamite. You know, that dynamite is extremely deadly. Probably the best thing in her kit. Besides Bob, of course. Because the dynamite can't do something, but Bob can. Sound barrier comes out just to sustain Fluid.
Pushing into their side.
Yeah, but it's not enough. The desperation sound barrier wasn't enough, but it kills because Fluid still had not only Diva Bomb, Fluid still had Trans and Grav too. 3 ults that are extremely good, especially when used well.
You know, and I gotta give it props to the aggression that Zed F committed to. Like, once when they got a pick, they were invested into the fight.
Exactly. Looks like both sides are opting for a Pharah. Jay going back onto Ana, Cal switching over to Sombra, and it looks like the tank lineup for Fluid will be relatively similar. Meanwhile, on Zed will be running triple support with a Pharah as their DPS. We're gonna see some Pharah 1v1s hopefully if Jaber doesn't ruin the fun.
Instantly starting off with this brawl, just focusing down Death.
Death down, Clorox down. However, Jaber does manage to dethrone the Pharah. Jaber extremely accurate. I wouldn't play Pharah around him.
Absolutely not. Looks like Zostin will be getting punished.
Stagger onto Bullet. However, Ash is gonna be able to pick out Sombra with that headshot. That headshot is 170, if there isn't any drop off. We're gonna now see both sides start to recuperate their players, start to be a bit more solid. Fluid's starting to push in right now as some damage is going on the Reinhardt shield, but not a whole lot. Briggs trying to initiate the fight, but there isn't a whole lot of follow through. However, Zed F's Ashe is able to pick out the Pharah. Ashe is gonna keep going.
Even though the Reinhardt had got... Oh, that's a huge shatter.
Massive.
Sadly, it's not going to be able to get anything. Late
EMP follow through. Yeah, nothing. I would have saved the EMP there. But, I don't know. I definitely could see why it would be thrown.
No, definitely.
Diva mech comes out. Probably just a keep mech, maybe. I'm not really sure.
So the bomb to switch, possibly, so they wouldn't have to worry about ult economy. I'm not exactly sure as to why that happened. You will see
Maybe
no
not.
switches on the side of Fluid.
It looks like Fluid's gonna be coming out to 99. Zed's gonna be coming out to 99. Will Fluid be able to take it or not? Rally comes out over on Fluid's side. Bob is going to try to do something. We're going to see how that works. Bob gets slept. However, Clorox gets put out. Meanwhile, Zed F looks like they're controlling the point, getting picks on the Fluid.
Fire will be getting the Roadhog.
Yep,
Sadly,
and looks like they're being cleaned up for the reverse sweep. That was a beautiful game to watch. Both sides played it really well. But what do you think was the one factor that contributed to reverse sweep?
I think it's definitely the lack of switch ups on Fluid's end. They kept on certain comps, I felt like, a little too long. And they held too much on win conditions instead of trying to make more versatile to counter Zed F.
You know, I can really agree on that. I don't know if they just ran out of ideas, because Goats is definitely a comp that forces an abnormal comp to counter it. If you're not going to run Goats, looks like they didn't till the very end, I believe. I don't know. I think, yeah, they did run Goats, but
they ran mainly supers on Busan, which is in itself really hard to counter.
So, what do you who do you think would be considered the player of that scrim? Who do you think had the most impact?
Ooh, I'm not exactly sure, but personally, I'd probably give it to Connor. Once when he got a hold of that Zarya and Hog, it was just definitely game changers, from hooking Rhines off the map to carrying team fights based off of his charge.
Yeah, I think Connor as Hog especially was definitely a thorn in Fluid's side, being able to, again, you said, get the hooks. And I think his hooks were really allowed Zed F to shine. Me personally, an underdog, like an underrated player on Zed F, I would say is Marley. Maybe not looks like it, but I saw a lot of really good positioning, a lot of really good picks too coming out from Marley. Marley playing Lucio mainly throughout that round. Was able to find the targets that were either low and pick them out, or able to take use his boop to push Fluid off of Zed for a moment. And I think that is really important in this whole engagement.
And Fluid, like, they played well. Like, you could tell the synergy's there. I just think they needed a minute to step back and breathe, you know, especially with the individual on their end on Rialto being late and causing that little disruption and you know, just kind of the thought process of a possibility of reverse sweep plus goats. You know, just stepping back and like relaxing could have been definitely a better factor.
Hmm.
But overall, you can tell the synergy's there on Fluid.
Yeah, synergy's definitely there. DPS definitely there. Healing definitely there. I think what ended up being their Fluid's demise is the aggression on that Zed F had. Like Connor and Kawhi, both fantastic tanks. They work together extremely well, and you really see that was able to shine a lot during the last few maps. As we see Kawhi switch on from he'd switch from Zarya, which he originally played map one, over to main tank like Rhine, and well, we'd see Connor drop back to Zarya and Hog, where he's able to absolutely brutalize Fluid.
Yep.
So
But
yeah,
for
no,
that, guys, we're gonna be calling it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
and